out here at the courthouse. Okay, so we have a little break. So I wanted to run out here and tell you guys what's going on. So Jane Doe is still testifying. Okay, and hopefully she'll be done today. I'm not sure, but basically it's more of the same. They're going through her text messages. They're talking about how Diddy, was trying to get her to have all this sex, okay, and then still sleeping with these men, and she's basically continuously telling him she doesn't want to do it, she doesn't feel comfortable, that she's in love with him. Meanwhile, she's seeing him on social media with these other women, and one of them is a celebrity. They don't say the name, but at the end of the day, she said this is making her upset. She's not liking it. She's continuously telling him that she's done with him and she's not going to be doing it anymore. Now, mind you, he's still continuing to try to press her, lying, and he's saying that he loves her. I miss you. I need you so much right now. He just wants her to do these hotel nights. Like, it's obvious that he didn't care anything about this woman at all. And just using her, like I said before. And it's basically the same testimony that we heard on Friday, because like I said, they're going through all of her text messages. It's just more of the same. Basically, at this point, it's getting redundant. It's repetitive. And quite frankly, I'm tired. Okay, I'm very tired at this point. I mean, I feel sorry for her. She's breaking down on the stand. She's crying. She's clearly upset. And then they played an audio. So they played an audio of him. He sounded like he'd just woken up that morning. Like maybe he was sick, his throat was hoarse. And he's telling her, I'm not feeling good. Okay, you need to stop doing this. Basically, he told her detective skills have started to mess with her head. Basically, saying that, basically telling her she's doing too much. Your detective skills are just going overboard. You're going haywire. You're looking at stuff on social media. You shouldn't believe your lying eyes. Just because you see people posting stuff with me on social media, don't believe that. You know what I've told you. That's basically his attitude. It's real crazy. Okay? Hey, everybody. Yes, it's very repetitive. It is absolutely. Okay, so thank you, Donna, for your contribution to the channel, beloved. I appreciate you. I'm trying to stay safe, girl. It gets crazy out here in New York sometimes. Okay? But listen, Lovely T is here. She made it here today. So I was glad to see her and meet her. But yeah, basically, it's the same story over and over and over. I don't know how many days worth of text messages they're going to go through. But at this point, it's like giving, a snooze fest almost. Okay? It's like, we've heard this before. Hey, Nancy X. Queen is that white nail. Oh my God, don't you all even start. Don't you all even start on me, okay? I had enough drama this morning. Okay, let me just hide that. Okay, so anyway, it's getting real crazy out here. Somebody asked me as soon as I walked into the courtroom, ma'am, why do you have on white nail polish? Are you giving Diddy a signal? Okay, oh, it's crazy. And also, by the way, as I was leaving out of the court to come down here, thank you, Rita, beloved, for your contribution to the channel. Peace, love, and blessings. I appreciate you. So as I was leaving the building to come out here, I saw Justin Combs and Christian. They were just coming in. His mother was in earlier. She got here like right after we did. But oh my gosh, this is really a lot. Hey, Mr. Mystical Black Realms. Okay, so listen. Now, just so you guys know, I'm gonna do a full breakdown when I get home this evening. If we keep hearing the same story over and over and over, I may just leave early because we're supposed to be in court until 5 today. And I think she's the only witness, okay? I think she's the only witness. Oh, and also, let's talk about the motion for the mistrial. So the judge spoke about that this morning. He basically said that the defense had filed for a motion for mistrial and that he's waiting for the government to respond. So we probably won't know anything further about that until possibly tomorrow because he wants them to respond first, okay? Okay, hey, Cosmic Thoughts. So anyway, like I told you guys, it is really tiring. This is a lot. I hope you all know. I got down here at like 5:30 this morning and barely made it into the main court. So you have to really get here early. I hope the inside scoop Remember the comments. The trial will go to the jury. Will be a hung trial due to 2 jury members. Well, you know, something was going on this morning. When we got in court, they didn't start on time as usual, and they were all in a huddle. I don't know what was going on. The jury was brought in later than usual, about maybe 15 to 20 minutes later. Something was definitely going on. We don't know exactly what it was. We were trying to figure it all out. Everybody's whispering and writing each other notes and whatever, because you know you're not supposed to talk in there. So, but we really don't know exactly what was going on. Now, somebody speculated that it was something with one of the jurors, but I can't say for sure. So take that with a grain of salt, okay? Hey, Cookie. All right. 2 lady jurors who seem to be in Diddy's favor. Well, you know, people are trying to look at their faces to see what they're thinking or to see if they're agreeing or whatever. Oh, and let me say this. Remember last week when they said the judge warned Diddy about smiling and nodding to the jurors? Well, when I got here this morning, one of the reporters told me and some other people that he wasn't smiling and nodding at the jury, that he was actually nodding in agreement with his attorney, Nicole Westmoreland, when she was doing the cross-exam. So they said he was basically nodding in agreement with her, not nodding and smiling at the jurors. Okay, so they said that that should have been corrected, but nobody did. But don't forget, Diddy has Trump to pardon. Well, you know, that is a possibility, but let us pray that it isn't the case at the end of the day. Let us pray that that isn't the case. But yeah, you know, there's always a chance. Like I told you guys, if that happens, in my opinion, it would only be because Trump is trying to get back at James Comey, the former director of the FBI. Because his daughter, Maureen Comey, is actually the lead prosecutor, okay? Oh my God, I'm gonna have to go back inside, beloveds, because it's starting to rain really hard out here. I hope not too, Mr. and Miss Black Realms. I hope not too, because at the end of the day, even if everybody, you know, some of these people may not be telling the truth about everything they say. There may have been some inconsistencies, but I think some of it with Brianna Bongalon was due to her using those illegal substances. I mean, as she said, her and Cassie were doing this stuff like almost every day, okay? Trump is just talking. Diddy is not. Let's hope not, the Hood Reeler. Okay, let's hope not, beloved, because that would be tragic. Okay, that would absolutely be tragic. So, today that I don't have on my, hold on. I heard today that Diddy mentioned her twice. She had to, who had to switch hotels 4 times? I can't see everything because I don't have on my glasses. Thank you, Latasha, for your kind words, beloved. Okay, I'm trying to hold it together. It's not always easy at the end of the day. It is not always easy, so thank you, Andrew. Okay, it was really crowded today, and somebody cut the line, so that's why you have to get here extra early, honey. Yeah, I have to agree. Ladybug said, get your rain boots. I know, right? Oh my God. And then I'm wearing high heels and I forgot to bring my flats. I used to have my flats in my purse in case my feet get tired, but I forgot them today. So it's gonna be tragic for me. Please pay attention, okay? But yeah, so I'm anxious to hear something else from her. We keep hearing about the hotel nights, about him trying to persuade her. She's finally, but now at this point, it seems like this is where she finally woke up and realized that this relationship that she's having with him is not going anywhere, that he's not giving her what she's putting into it or whatever at the end of the day, and that he's just using her. I think this is the part where she finally realizes that and figures it all out, okay? The lovely T said, get out of that rain before you melt, brown sugar. Okay, I'm gonna go back in a second because they gave us to like 10:45, I think. Okay, so I'm already a few minutes late. I'll go back in a second, but I just wanted to give you all this brief update. I don't know if you all are following it online or whatever, but you know, with inner city press. But nonetheless, I'm just anxious to hear something else from this witness at this point. Okay, I'm over it with hearing about the hotel nights. We get the picture. I really feel bad for her that she had to go through this, that Diddy played her and used her, and that it took her so long to figure it out, because at this point, it's been about 3 years. Okay, it was about 3 years before she figured out this man means her no good, that he's only using her, and she was telling him constantly she's tired of having sex with all of these other men. Okay, I don't know how someone even allows themselves to do that. And she also was telling him that for her, being intimate, sex is spiritual, and she's like spiritually broken at this point. She's like spiritually tired. You know, she said that it's like sacred to her, and she just doesn't want to keep doing this with these other men. But he doesn't show her any empathy or sympathy. He just keeps on telling her, no, you can do it. You know, I really need you. Just give me what I want, just like I give you what you want. This is literally what he was saying. Okay, don't tell me. He said, I need you to not tell me no, like I don't tell you no. Isn't that crazy? Did he control these women with his money? Yes, I agree. I absolutely agree. It's not that much money in the world for me, because my thing is, I'm not going to be sitting up there getting hoed out, sleeping with all these other men that I don't even know, sleeping with perfect strangers. Okay, it's absolutely crazy. Mr. Mystical Black Ram says, I can believe it. Yeah, I mean, I guess some people, you know, they just, but again, she says that she was in love with him. And I think that she really was, because she's up there crying. She's like really having a serious breakdown when she's giving some of her testimony about how he was treating her. Now, the interesting thing is, she never says that he was violent with her. She never says that he put hands on her or anything like he did with Cassie. She just basically talks about him being, you know, trying to manipulate her to get her to keep going along with these hotel nights and doing what he wants her to do, and not showing her any empathy, sympathy, or compassion, getting upset and irritated and agitated when she's telling him no. But one thing I'll say about Diddy is he's very persistent. Okay, I have to give him that. He's very persistent with running this lame game. Behind the Real said, Queen, she was complicit. She was. She absolutely was. In my opinion, they all were complicit. Her and Cassie both were complicit, because at any time they could have said no. They could have said no. Whether you were in love with him, whether he was holding the purse strings or whatever, you always had an option to say no. But, you know, at the end of the day, like I keep telling you guys, when people are in love, they make foolish decisions very often. They do things that they normally wouldn't do. It's like sometimes it seems as though their brain has been turned off to logic, to common sense, you know, to seeing people for who they really are. Because when we're in love, what do? We usually see things the way we want to see them, unless there's someone on the outside looking in to come and tell us better. And even then, we don't listen sometimes. We don't want to hear it. That's right. It's hard to say anything when you're full of... Okay. That's right, April. Shout out to the Loyal Royals. Roma says free Diddy. Okay, you want a free Diddy? I don't. All right? But just pay attention. Love will make you foolish. Absolutely, Lovely T. Absolutely, okay? How do they hold your place in the court when you go and break? Do they give you numbers? No, they don't. You just go back in there. See, if you were in there in the first place, they usually remember you. They can't forget me because my locks are past my behind. Okay, I've got these long locks that everybody keeps talking about, so they never forget who I am. And then today I'm wearing bright red, so I just go back up there and just take my seat. Okay, Khalid says, I'm in the Bronx. I'll be down there today. All right. Well, be sure to shout out the Queen. Okay. Andrew said, Queen, the song Monster. Okay. Listen, I love you guys. I really appreciate you all for being here. Don't make it any better breaking down the willpower. Right. You know, like I told you guys last week, this was grooming to me. Doing all this, you know, love bombing, taking her on trips, giving her money, sporadically just giving her money and stuff like $5,000, $10,000 in cash telling her that he loved her. All of that was him grooming her, in my opinion. Same thing that he did with Cassie. And then once he's convinced them that he really cares about them and he loves them or whatever, now he knows they're in love with him. This is when he starts the freaky deaky stuff, in my opinion. Reggie says, thank you for your hard work, Queen. Thank you, beloved. So we not going, women reach these basketball players. Women reach these, I don't know what you're talking about with basketball players. Diddy was probably breaking the hell out of her. Well, he was absolutely pimping these women out. That's what it sounds like, okay? Having them to sleep with all these multiple men and then 30 and 40 hours a night. And here's the thing. She said she started to become, what's the word she used? You know, like when you can't focus. She said she was having brain fogs, okay? She couldn't focus. She couldn't concentrate. It was very hard to do because of the amount of time that she was staying up late, having all these hotel nights. Sometimes these sessions lasted 12 to 15 hours. Sometimes they lasted 30 to 48 hours. I don't see how anybody's having these sex marathons, because that's what it sounds like. How do you do it? You know, how does your body even put up with it? It's really crazy. Thomas said pimping is to make a profit for someone. Well, yeah, it is. But at the end of the day, what do you call it when someone's convincing you to sleep with other people repetitively and sometimes more than one person in a night? Okay, I call that pimping as well, you know? Okay, even if you're not getting paid for it. That's still pimping to me. You're getting these women to sleep with all these multiple men. Okay, it's just crazy. He didn't have to convince them. Well, you know, maybe not. All of these men back in Diddy better be the same damn men that unite when we need it. Absolutely, Aqua Girl Rising, okay? And then, you know, what gets me is the people who say that they're trying to bring a black man down. This black man brought himself down, in my opinion. And also, let's not act like many of the people that he has done things to, nefarious things, are also black. So that's no excuse for his nefariousness as far as I'm concerned. That's not enough for me to jump on the bandwagon with Diddy just because he's black. Okay? At the end of the day, wrong is wrong and right is right. It seems like he couldn't be, he didn't sue, he wouldn't be in this. Right, I agree with you about if he didn't sue with the Diageo thing. Yeah, I said that from day one. So he should go to prison because he is a freak. No, Thomas, he shouldn't go to prison for being a freak. He should go to prison for bribery, extortion, coercion, possible arson, and intimidation. That's what he should go to prison for. That's all predicate, those are all predicate crimes for committing the funds. Okay, let's not act like some of the people who work for him as assistants and other things have not testified that they were doing illegal things for him, such as going to pick up illegal substances, selling illegal substances. What do you call that? If they work for your enterprise and they're doing criminal activity, doesn't that in fact make it a criminal enterprise? It absolutely does, as far as I'm concerned. Caitlin says, I didn't hear none of that in this trial. Well, I absolutely did hear it, beloved. Okay, I absolutely did hear it. He should get his money back from Cassie if he has to. I'm sure he would like to. Okay, it's the devil's playground. It's never made for us at all. And these folk hate when we do better than them. I have to agree with you. I absolutely have to agree with you, beloved. At the end of the day, listen. When you guys talk about taking accountability, I want you to pay attention because there are people who say that these women need to hold themselves accountable, and I agree. They say that these women could have said no, and I agree. But at the end of the day, don't you also think that Diddy needs to hold himself accountable? Don't you think that if it were not for the history of things that he's done, that he may not be in this predicament? Shooting up the club, the city college thing, hitting people upside the head with champagne bottles, screwing his artists out of their publishing and their money. You don't think there's anything wrong with any of that? Because I do, okay? Diddy got away with this for decades. Exactly, Mel, I agree. He wasn't selling the rugs, he was using them. Well, there are people who work for him who said that he was selling them, that he had them selling them. Okay, this witness that's on the stand now said last week that he had her going to pick up illegal substances from his chief of staff, KK. So I'm sorry. Whether or not he was using them or selling them, if you have the people that work underneath you, that you employ, going to pick up, hey beloved, going to pick up illegal substances and then selling them to other people, okay, I'm sorry, that's still the same thing. Okay, you don't have to do it yourself, but if you're employing people to go do it for you, how is that any different? Okay? I just don't see any difference in that. Somebody said Panther Strike is a Diddy hater. What if they are? We don't have to love Diddy, beloved. Everybody can have their own contrary opinions. If you are for Diddy, that's fine. But if people are not for Diddy, that's fine too. Okay? On this channel, we welcome contrary opinions. I'm not going to bash or ban anybody because they're pro-Diddy. I'm just stating that I'm not. And nobody should be trying to go in on anyone because they're for Diddy or against Diddy. Everyone's entitled to their opinion. People who get mad and get in their feelings are just ignorant. Okay? It's really obtuse to be upset about what somebody else thinks and feels, about how someone else views things. That's just ignorant. Okay? If you feel that you have a right to your opinion, then what makes you feel that someone else doesn't? Okay? Please make that make sense. Okay? Panther Strike. If somebody is trolling, you can ban them from the channel. You do know that, right? If you feel like somebody's being rude, disrespectful, or trolling, then you can ban them. Medjel says, I'm not for Diddy. I'm against the right and wrong. What they doing to him is wrong. Well, I mean, you may feel that way. I don't agree with everything they're doing. I can honestly say I don't agree with everything they're doing myself. But like I said, Diddy needs to take accountability because he brought this all on himself. If maybe he hadn't been so nasty to people, if maybe he hadn't made death threats to people like he did to Str8, okay? If he had not been so violent with people like he did with Cassie, okay, like he did with Str8, maybe he wouldn't be in this predicament. Maybe people wouldn't be looking at him with a whole side eye or feeling as though he's capable of doing these nefarious things that have been alleged against him. Should he get a life sentence, says Thomas. Well, that remains to be seen. I want to see the rest of what's going to come out first. As of now, I wouldn't say a life sentence, but I would definitely say a sentence. Okay? So his accidentally should be prison accountability. There's cash payments. Well, of course there's cash payments. We know that he was paying these women. That's how he was controlling them. That's how he was controlling the narrative, by holding money over their head. You know, Diddy can't keep getting away with doing people wrong. Exactly, Mel. I thought you said he was in the predicament because he sued a liquor company. Well, I do believe that. Diageo. I've said that from day one. I think that had a lot to do with it. But nonetheless, the point I'm saying is, even if he had not sued them, many of the things he's accused of, I believe he absolutely did. Okay, he's just being called to the carpet for it because of suing them, in my opinion. Because if you've gotten away with this stuff for decades, okay, people knew, and there were rumors and whispers about certain things for decades, okay? Specifically with the whole Tupac and Biggie thing, all right? With the violence and other things. So once the defense puts on their case, hold on. Okay, I was trying to see those comments, but listen, at the end of the day, Diddy needs to be held accountable for his actions. Whether or not you agree with everything that he's been accused of, you have to admit, if you're just being logical and unbiased, if you're looking at things truthfully, you have to admit that he did a lot of these things, okay? And he should just get away scot-free. Okay? I'm sorry, commingling of funds is illegal. He said he was going to blow up Kid Cudi's car, and the car got blown up. Now, they can't prove 100% that he's the one that did it, but come on now. How much of a coincidence could that possibly be? If he said it, and then it happened. He said that he was going to kill Str8, and that man turned up dead. He's lucky he's not on trial for murder, as far as I'm concerned. Okay? I just have several questions. One thing in life, you can never know about another man what another man does. He's done a lot of, right, you cannot swear for anybody because people, you know, very often hide things in the closet. The things that they don't want people to know about them. Narcissistic people specifically, which I think Diddy absolutely is, they're good at hiding things and putting on a facade and acting as though they're one way, but really they're a whole nother. And you know, every now and then, if you're paying close attention, you'll see the real them come out. Okay? You'll see the real them come out. So anyway, listen, I'm going to conclude the broadcast, beloveds. I love you guys. Thank you for tuning in. I'm going to be back out here, I guess when court ends. Well, actually, when court ends, I'll probably just go straight home and do a live from there because it's cold and chilly out here and it's rainy and wet. So I don't know if I'm going to stay all day today. If the same witness is on the stand until 5 o'clock, saying the same exact thing over and over and over, I'm probably going to leave, okay? And then I'll do a live once I get home. Trying to see some of these comments, the chat seem to have stopped. It's obvious Diddy did that to keep Cuddy Scar. Yes, Mel, I agree. I mean, we may not be able to prove it like I said, but he said it and then it happened. And what are the chances of a person's car getting blown up in their driveway? Okay? Some people think that he shouldn't have been charged with a RICO because that's what they initially would charge the mafia with. But I'm sorry, doesn't Diddy act like a whole crime mob boss? Yeah, that's what he acts like in my opinion. Okay, so anyway, I love you guys to life. I hope you enjoy the rest of this beautiful day. He has so many bodies. He's responsible for unaliving. I want him under the prison forever, says Reese. Okay? And possibly that's where he's going to end up. I mean, he may actually end up regretting his decision to not take the plea deal. Okay? He absolutely may live to regret that. So listen, I'm going to get out of here. I love you all to life. Each one teach one. That's how we grow and thrive. Do something productive, constructive, but never destructive. And always remember, beloveds, to keep the Most High first in your lives. Until next time.